Hey guys, and welcome back to Black Mountain Stables. We are right on the cusp of getting our Anderson feed mixer. I think the shop told me that it had technically shipped from Canada. It's being brought down on a trailer and should be here within the next day or so. So we are out here working the grass field. We are out of silage, so I figured it would be a good time to go ahead and do a cutting, get this collected up. We're going to try to get it leveled and under blanket, I should say, before the end of the day. That way it will be on its way with respect to getting fermented, and we'll be able to make use of our new mixer wagon at some point in the future. See, our oat field over there has taken seed and come up, so that's all good to see. I believe our wheat field is ready to go also as far as growing goes. And we've got an interesting turn of events. Turns out that the sawmill has asked us to help them out. They have basically gone and purchased Field 6 from the farmer that owned that land, and they want us to help them basically get that field ready for poplar. They're going to start putting poplar in that field for the purpose of making these new bio bales. So that's going to be rather interesting. Apparently, the farmer that owned that field, he put potatoes in it, and it just seems abandoned. We reached out to the farmer, and it sounds like he doesn't have any real interest in getting those potatoes up out of the ground. So when the sawmill bought the land from him, he was basically like, "Yeah, I don't care for, I don't want the potatoes." So the sawmill wants us to just plow them under, get them all worked into the soil, kind of a bit of a fertilizer for the poplar. So we'll probably try to get on that later this evening once we get our grass all picked up and collected and everything. We've already got 2 full loads into the bunker, so we've got 84,000 liters already in there. Almost done our 3rd load, and I tell you, when you look at the bunker, it looks like it barely has anything in it. So we're going to be able to put plenty of product in there. That is for sure. In fact, I might honestly forget how much we should get off of this field as far as grass goes. But the way it's going, I think we're going to be getting close to 500,000 liters off of this. So there you can see those are the 2. That's 2 loads right there. That's 84,000 liters. That little mound in the corner. Let's see about backing this up. Tip it. One in there. Now, I want to thank my good friend Rockhound. Congratulate him and thank him. One, thank him for having the privilege of testing that bunker before it was sent out, and 2, to congratulate him on his very first mod making its way into the official Giants mod hub earlier this week. Seems to be a pretty good hit. Lots of folks seem to be liking it, which is absolutely great. I think it's a great bunker. I mean, you can really cram a whole lot in that thing, and it's not, doesn't leak through the sides. You know, we don't have those issues. So many of the bunkers in 17, you would just have, you know, just the awful leaking of the silage out the back, out the sides. You had issues with getting it to clean out. Just wouldn't clean out like it's supposed to. But none of that is, none of that's a problem with his. And it's got great lights on it. So, really excited for him. Hope he expands his submissions to the mod hub and get some more stuff out there. I have to say, I try to encourage folks, you know, that I know that are modding and that are into modding to at least consider submitting stuff to the Giants mod hub, because that is definitely a very big avenue to get things seen, get a lot of traffic, a lot of attention towards your talents. So I didn't have GPS on the or guidance steering. I didn't have guidance steering on the tractor that I was mowing this with, and I used the same one to rake. But the lines aren't too terrible, but they're not straight as an arrow either. A few spots where we missed, but like I said, it's not too bad. Right, let's whip around here and pick up this row, and that should just about do us. Still got a little bit to go, 10,000 liters still. What we'll do is we'll come up here and we'll pick up this run here. Runs up. So exciting times this evening. If you live in the U.S. tonight, the DLC is going to get released. Live in the EU, Europe, or thereabout. Looks like the DLC is going to release just about midnight, or a little bit before midnight, a little bit after midnight, depending on your time zone. Those of us here on the east coast of the U.S., it looks like we're probably going to have access to the DLC sometime Monday evening, maybe around 6 p.m., maybe 7 p.m. I forget which time zone it's based out of, and you know, if it's 6 o'clock when it is daylight savings time, or if it's 7 o'clock when it's daylight savings time. Either way, fairly early into the evening tonight, Monday evening, we should have access to download the DLC from the Giants website if that's the course that you took to purchase it. If you purchased it from Steam, probably will be available the morning after, Tuesday after, maybe around noon, maybe around 10 o'clock. I'm not really sure. All of the DLCs that I've purchased for 17, I've always gotten from Giants store, because I knew that, basically I knew that they were going to come and be available sooner than later. That does mean that you do need to keep track of your install key and your install media to some degree. That's the one nice thing with Steam, is they keep track of all that for you. Want to reinstall, so you just go to Steam and you just say, download, and they keep track of your purchases, keep track of your keys in essence. So you don't have to worry about that. You download it direct from Giants though, and of course you need to maintain your download copy and maintain your key and reinstall it should you need to. And well, I keep a pretty simple, procedure. That's what I'm looking for in order to do that. And let me tell you about that here in a moment. So what I do is I basically have cloud storage. So I've got a Google Drive, also have Microsoft OneDrive, and a few other cloud storage mediums that I have available via my work. But you can, you can get cloud, you can get Google Drive for free, you can get a Microsoft OneDrive for free, and everything. But what I do is when I download a copy of the DLC, what I do is I take that copy and I copy it to my cloud storage. Before I do anything, is I put a copy up on cloud storage, and then I create a text file in the same folder that I put the installer in. And in that text file, I basically copy and paste the email message that I got from Giants. And that email message is important because, one, it has the key in it, and two, it has the download link to download the file, should I ever need to re-download it. Like, for example, if they do an update or something. And I put that text file in the same folder up on the Google Drive or the cloud storage. And then that way, if I ever need to reference it again, reinstall it or whatever, I know it's up on the cloud storage. I can basically log in and get access to it from anywhere, from my machine, from work, from wherever. As long as it's connected to the internet, I can basically then have access to it. So that's what I do. I would say that, anyone that is struggling with maintaining copies of that, maybe you lose things, you misplace emails, you can't figure out where you stored your downloads for paid content like that, is I'd suggest maybe doing something like that. That way, pretty much you'll know where it is, and you'll know it's safe. That way, it's survivable. So if your computer crashes or you replace computers, you don't have to worry about remembering to copy that file off, or in the event of a computer crash, hard drive crash, you don't have to worry about possibly losing that information as a result of not having a second copy. This is load 4, so that's what 168 some thousand, 168,000 liters maybe. And like I said, look at that, it's just a fraction of a corner. Being used. It's awesome. So I hope your guys' experiences with 1.3 is going well. Of course, 1.3 came out early last week. Actually, last Monday. Pretty much a week in advance of the DLC release. because of course the DLC release is dependent upon 1.3. Heard a couple folks talk about some mod conflicts. The only thing I ran into was I had to take out the manual attach mod. It was throwing some type of Lua error, which was preventing me from being able to save the game. I would save, and then I'd hit quit, and I get the message, "Are you sure you want to quit without saving?" And I'm like, "No, I know I'm getting a little forgetful, but I'm pretty darn sure that I remember to save." So I click save, watched it, the little spinny red thing pop up. Then I hit quit, and it said, "Are you sure you want to quit without saving?" And I go, "I know I just saved. I was paying attention." So I went back and hit save again. Hit quit. "Are you sure you want to quit without saving?" I said, "You know what? Yes." So I exited out, and then I came back in, and everything I'd done was lost. Like, now I hit save 3 times, I know it, and none of those times it saved. So I tried it again, because you know what? What's the saying that, is it insanity is when you expect to repeat and get a different result or something? So it basically said, "Are you sure you want to?" I did a little bit of work. I didn't redo all the work. I did a little bit of work and reconnected or disconnected the rake because I was raking this up, and it's hit save and it did it all over again. But this time I hit to open the log up, and when I opened the log up, I saw there was a message, a repeating Lua error related to the attacher joint. And I thought, what do I have that might be manipulating the attacher joint? Well, the only thing I could come up with was manual attach. So I took the manual attach out and booted it up, did a little bit of work, and repeated the process, saved the game, and hit exit, and it worked. So let me save, let me exit, so I was cool to go. I've heard some folks say that they had issues with courseplay. Now, I'm running 6.01.00142 dev. Oops. I can say that I have not actually used courseplay since the update, but I think some people were saying that they couldn't launch the game or open the map with courseplay enabled. Well, I'm not having that issue. That's the version I've got. 142 dev, basically. So if you've got a version older than that, I would say download the latest version and see if that fixes your problem. If not, then there may be a different conflict other than courseplay. Well, like I said, I haven't had a chance to actually use it yet. That is because, well, for some reason the tractor I was using, I run into this issue, and I've heard some folks report it in the comments. I've run into an issue where on one tractor I can't get the courseplay HUD to come up. It's the same tractor that I changed the controls from right click to left control delete, and whenever I try to bring up the menu, if I try to right click or I try to hit left control delete, it just does nothing. I can hit right click and this one comes up. That's working. Not really sure why it's not working on that particular tractor. I've had that tractor kind of get stuck before, and then eventually it starts to work again. I was going to course play. I was going to have course play mow this and rake it. Then I could have course play pick it up also, but that didn't quite work out because, well, I couldn't get it to work on the tractor I was going to use. That's fine. Gave us something to do while we had this little discussion. And while we're doing this, I think I'm going to tell you that we're probably, I know there's lots of folks that are saying they're really enjoying the series. I've got some stuff I want to do on some different maps, and I've got a side project that is going to be taking up okay amount of time, a decent amount of time that I need to also reserve some time for. So what I think I'm going to do is we're probably going to be closing out our Black Mountain series here within the next 3 to 4 videos. So I want to do a video with the new mixing wagon. And I want to bring that into the farm. I want to use it. I've got another mod that I want to use with the mixing wagon. So that's going to be one video. I want to definitely want to put poplar in the field over there, like I kind of talked about, and I want to use the bio baler. So that's going to be another video, and then that might be about it. So I don't know if we're going to do all of those videos this week, or if they're going to extend into next week, and I'm going to skip a day or so. I mean, it does take a little while for poplar to grow. I might fudge the growth control settings for poplar so that it pops up faster. Pun intended. We'll see. Going with what the next map is going to be, but I'm not sure yet. Might be Field Mountain. Might be something else. Just gonna have to wait and see. We are switching over our multiplayer map that I've been streaming. We'll be switching that over very, very soon. I'm gonna try something interesting. I do need to test it out a little bit just to see and validate that it's going to work the way I hope it's going to work. But what I want to try to do is I want to try to run a multiplayer BGA operation where I don't actually own any land. I basically contract growing corn with the other farmers that are on the map and pay them for use of their farmland and for growing corn for me. Excited about that because, to be quite honest, I haven't actually used the BGA in 19 yet. I didn't do any of it on Felsburn. All we did on multiplayer on Ravenport was really compact it, fill up one of the bunkers basically as full as we could get it, and then blanket it. And then I sold a few loads, but not a lot. Definitely didn't empty it. Really had no idea how much money we would have or could have made if we continued on with that map and actually sold the bunker out. Only bunker work I've done really is basically putting in silage like this on mod testing or here. Let's see how much is in here. 294,000 liters, and we just have this little corner. Next load, I'm going to come over here and start filling that up. So you can see 500,000 liters is pretty much going to come out to about here. You know, and see how much left we got. So, like I said, I'm kind of excited for that project. For two reasons. One, I kind of get to try to run the BGA like a business, and two, it's not going to require a whole lot of time. At least the amount of time it's going to require is going to be in batches. It's not going to require a lot of daily time to be on the server. So being involved in so many side projects, mod reviews, map videos, and let's play stuff, and everything, it's hard to commit to being on the server every day of the week, keep up with stuff. There's folks that are on the server 3, 4, 5 hours of a day, and man, more power to you if you've got the ability to do that. If I wasn't doing all the different content, then I definitely would probably be able to be at probably 3 or 4 hours a day on a pretty regular basis. But the way it really ends up working out is more like 2 or 3 hours every 2 or 3 days. Probably more like every 3 days. So 3 hours every 3 days. So I could see where basically I could start out, get everything started by basically paying a bunch of contracts out to grow stuff, and possibly not needing to be back on the server for 5 or 6 days until the crop is ready to harvest, and then probably work the server pretty good for 2 days, helping harvest and bring in the silage or chaff and level and compact the bunker and everything. And then once it's done, then there's only so much silage I can sell per day, because the server's only going to be running at 1x speed. So at that point, it's probably going to take a week or longer to empty the bunker. And at the same time, I could contract out, again, people's fields. And basically, while I'm selling the bunker out, I could have another crop growing. To sell the bunker, it's really just a couple silage trailers full of silage, or a couple sugar cane trailers full of silage probably every, fill it up to 50,000 liters in the morning, come back in the evening, fill it up with 50,000 liters, and basically sell off 100,000 liters every day. I could get a couple more loads on weekends. But it seems like a fairly relaxed way of doing it, while at the same time engaging other players to interact with other players. Because one of the biggest possible downsides of what I call economy play, or what Giants I think calls not co-op play, but challenge play or whatever, is that a 5 or 6 person server could very easily end up in a 5 or 6 person single player on a multiplayer game, where everybody ends up having their own equipment, ends up farming their own fields, and basically using hired help, if that's enabled on the server, to help themselves out. And you end up just seeing other people drive around every so often, as opposed to the old style of multiplayer, which was always community-based, always a joint effort, collective effort to do stuff. So that is one of the biggest downsides to the competitive play or the economy-based play, is that you could run into situations where a server ends up just being a bunch of single-player action as opposed to really true multiplayer action. Well, guys, we are at our 30-minute limit for the video. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and finish picking up this grass, putting it in the bunker, and we're going to compact it out, put it in a blanket, and put her to bed until she ferments. And I'll be back with you guys sometime later. Until next time, happy farming.